Welcome to It Happened in Grand Prairie, Texas. As we bring you the history of our city and some of the people that have made history and some of the people that are continuing to make history this very day, and we are so very excited. Our history tape number 603 is coming down the pike. And it is really wonderful that we have two wonderful people from the Sunset Baptist Church in Grand Prairie, Texas, in the Dalworth area that really are excited. And we have, first of all, Pastor Matthew Magruder. Welcome to the set.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Again.
Glad
Yes,
to be
this
here.
is not your first time that we've had a set to, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, that is so good, but you're here for a very special thing. And Rose Kuntz, Ms. Rose Kuntz, we would like to welcome you to the set. I believe this is the first time you've been on our show, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes, it is.
And we know he's the pastor at Sunset, and we know that you are the care ministry chair. And probably he gives you many other assignments if you'll just say, yes, I'll do that, Pastor, right?
Right, right.
It doesn't take long to get involved in something you love, right?
Correct.
Good, good. That's right. All right. Well, now, what we're going to talk about today is real special to your entire congregation, but ought to be one of the greatest salutes that you could have, Pastor, and that is the 30th anniversary of your pastoral activities at Sunset, right?
Yes, 30 years.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's exciting. It's unbelievable, kind of,
Yes.
that God has delivered me this far.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. First of all, I'd like for you to give us a little history. And now I know your grandfather.
Right.
So let's talk about your grandfather, your grandparents, really.
Right.
And at the time when I believe he was the founding minister and everything. Tell us a little bit about that story, would you?
Well, my grandfather organized Sunset,
And you remember his name, Newell.
Newell Magruder,
That's right,
in 1952.
1952.
He moved a rent house out on the corner of Manning Road and Spikes and organized what's now the Sunset Baptist Church.
Oh,
He pastored that church for 25 years and then retired. And then in the year that he did that, they elected me pastor.
oh,
That's 1977 March.
1977 of March. Oh, tell me about the area where you live. That it is very cloistered on a street that comes off of what used to be Sherman, that's now W.M. Roberts.
Right.
And when you get in there, the trees are so pretty down in that area, and you have some really wonderful people living on your street.
The majority of the neighborhood now consists of people that have been there, say, 20 plus years.
Oh, isn't that good?
Their homes are paid for and they're in retirement ages now.
And that's on Manning Road,
That's
isn't it?
on Manning Road.
Yeah.
And of course, I now pastor their grandchildren and their great-great-grandchildren.
Oh, my.
I'm working on my fourth generation of kids in that community that we've had the pleasure of pastoring.
Well, tell me about your grandparents. You had a grandmother.
Grandmother was Helen Magruder,
All right.
and she passed away in 95.
All right.
We are originally from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Uh-huh.
I was born and raised there.
All right.
And,
And your parents.
And my parents, my father is Matthew H. Magruder,
H. He's the H boy.
who also was a minister, preacher.
Yes.
My mother, Laura Magruder,
All right.
now lives with me.
Isn't that wonderful? Oh, now Laura's going to keep you busy, isn't
Laura's
she?
going to keep me busy. She has kept me busy, yeah.
And tell me, do you have brothers and sisters?
No brothers and sisters. I'm an only child.
Oh, you are spoiled rotten already. Yes, yes. But isn't that good?
It's great. It's great. And of course, I've been blessed with 3 sons.
Yes. And name your 3 sons, please.
Curtis is the oldest, and then Matthew James.
And tell me a little bit about each one of them.
Curtis is Dallas police officer. Matthew James is working in the office of parole officer. The baby boy, Michael,
Yes.
is in the Army.
Yes.
He's stationed in Fort Huachuca, Arizona,
Wow.
and he's an MP. So I have 3 sons, and
And all of them are in enforcement, aren't they?
all of them in some type of law enforcement.
Oh, and you
And
really
they
taught
were all
them to get right.
graduates of South Grand Prairie High.
Yes.
They were warriors.
Big warriors.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we're proud of them.
And have you
Yeah.
mentioned everyone but your wife?
Cynthia Magruder is my
All right.
wife.
And her maiden name?
Cynthia Miller.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. And tell me a little bit about finding Cynthia.
Cynthia is originally from Waxahachie, Texas.
Yes, okay.
And
The gingerbread city.
the gingerbread city.
Yes.
And she was a member of our church.
Yes.
And that's where we formally met.
Yes.
And,
And either you caught her eye or she caught your eye, and isn't this wonderful?
yeah,
And
it
all
happens.
of your children that have been warriors, and
Yeah.
almost a lifetime for your family in Grand Prairie, Texas.
yeah. Yeah.
That is good.
Yep, I moved here in 1974
Yeah.
on a scholarship to Dallas Baptist. That's
Yes.
what originally got me up here.
Yes.
And I became an associate minister under my grandfather at Sunset.
Yes.
So for the first 3 years of me being here, I was an assistant to my grandfather until he retired.
And the DBU, that is such a special place. It's in Dallas, but we claim part of it in Grand Prairie, Texas.
Exactly, exactly. When I came, it was Dallas Baptist College, not
yes.
university.
Yes.
It's now a university, but I ended up graduating from Southern Bible Institute in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
good.
So I'm proud of that accomplishment.
All right. And where did you get your elementary schooling and et cetera?
As I stated, I'm originally from Corpus Christi,
Yes,
Texas.
uh-huh.
So I attended Booker T. Washington Elementary School in Corpus
In Corpus,
Christi,
all right.
and then graduated from Solomon M. Coles in Corpus Christi. I was the last graduating class in 1967 before they integrated in 68.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You didn't get the chance to have a big time with the others.
Well,
but that's all right. You've
I-
made the grade since then.
Exactly.
Yes, that is really wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we salute you. And 30 years at Sunset, what have you seen happen? Now, your grandfather got this little house started and all this other stuff, but give me a progressive report on what you've done at that site. It has been magnificent from that one little house that he moved in there. Oh,
Well, when we took over, I think we had a congregation of about 75 to 80 people. And within the first 5 years, we had moved into the 150, 200 category.
yes.
Built an educational wing in 81, and then broke ground on a new sanctuary in 86. 87, we marched into a new facility, $350,000 at that time.
Oh, man.
And of course, that was a highlight
Yes.
of our tenure there.
Yes. That is really wonderful, because now you have a wonderful place. What's the future hold for Sunset?
we
Are you
are-
going to stay like you are, or are you going to bloom out like some of the other churches
You
have?
know, I do have a vision,
Yes.
but my vision is certainly centered around the community in which I now pastor.
Yes.
Dalworth is in my heart,
Yes.
and even if we did consider relocating, it wouldn't be very far from the Dalworth community.
It would have to have that tinge,
It would
wouldn't
have to have that, and
Yeah.
most of our congregation are committed to that neighborhood, and we've made a big difference and a big impact.
Yes, you have.
It's not as great as we would want it to be, but still, it's not what it used to be, and we're just thankful for the growth and development of the Dalworth community.
And
People are great and wonderful, and
Yes.
we've received some negative rap in the past, but there's more positive things going on in Dalworth than there is negative things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have expanded so that you have parking lots that are near your church building, and you've been really blessed to be able to purchase something near your church. That is really great.
Exactly. We built to seat 400 to 450, and God has blessed us, and we're still growing, still maturing. The blessed part about it is we have members from Grand Prairie, Arlington,
Yes.
Bedford, Euless, Hurst, Mesquite,
They need to come back home.
Yeah, well.
Yes, yes. A lot of people even though they may move away and across the line is not significant compared to what they get at a place where they've called it home.
Exactly. May it ever be so humble, there's no place like home.
Exactly.
So Sunset is home for a whole lot of individuals who have moved away or moved to other communities, but still commute back to their home church. Yeah.
Now, that's not all you do in the community. Just being the pastor and looking after the flock and all of this, I understand you're into National Night Out and other things. What do you do in the community that makes you feel more a part of it?
Well, we're an active part of the National Night Out. We are part of the Weed and Seed.
Weed and Seed, good.
Program under the direction of Brother Andy White.
Yes.
Who is also one of our deacons.
Good.
And we've just adopted Mission of Arlington, and every fourth Saturday in the month, we're feeding the homeless. We're sending clothing items to Arlington, Mission of Arlington.
Yeah.
But we also support Grand Prairie charities.
That is good.
Where we send hygiene material, toiletries and stuff to the Grand Prairie charities.
That's good.
So we're excited about that.
That is really wonderful. Well, and you expand yourself out of Grand Prairie. I understand that you're on the district, big wheel in the district for a long time.
And that's scary, but
Isn't
yes,
that scary?
I'm now.
And I know you started out real small, just maybe being a casual member, and then all of a sudden they moved you up in the chairs and
right.
Even treasurer.
I'm a part of the original West Texas Baptist District Association.
Yes.
Started off just a local pastor in that association, and became the treasurer for 8 years of OWT. I've been president of the Youth Congress, and now I'm the acting moderator of that whole district, and it's comprised of about 32 churches, mostly centrally located in West Texas.
Oh, I see.
And so I'm in my third year of moderatorship.
Yes.
And we've just come out of our 104th session, Baptist Association session, and we just had a great time. It was spiritually filled, and we enjoyed the fellowship.
Now that's quite a star in your crown till you get to heaven.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That is wonderful.
Of course, my heart is Sunset Baptist Church, so nothing will ever take the place of Sunset.
But what you're doing, you're representing Sunset every time that you're there, and also the good Lord. So I think it's wonderful that you can step into a position at a district level and have some influence.
Yeah, I think with the help of the Lord, we've represented the church well, and I think they're proud of me, and our name is all over the district.
Yeah, I bet.
Everybody knows about Sunset Baptist Church, Grand Prairie, Texas. She's
all right,
excited.
if you'll just relax a minute, I've got to get over here to Rose because she is the one that needs to tell us about the celebration and about her care ministry and such as. Rose, how long have you been in Grand Prairie, my dear?
I've been at Sunset since 1986.
1986,
Yes.
And before coming to Grand Prairie, where did you live?
Arlington. I live in Arlington.
You live in Arlington. Well, that's Arlington Grand Prairie.
Okay, and we've been in Arlington since about 1980.
1980. All right. Do you have a family?
Yes, I do. I have my husband, Deacon Kuntz, who is a deacon at Sunset.
Yes.
We have one daughter and one granddaughter.
Well, now let's name our daughter.
My daughter's name is Rhonda Driver, and she is a officer down at the Correction Center in Fort Worth, the city jail.
All right.
And my granddaughter is Ramisha Driver. And
she's how old?
She's going to be 14 in December.
Oh.
And she's in the 8th grade. She's getting ready for junior high.
Yes.
And
it starts in a few days, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
That is wonderful. What a great heritage you already have.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And do you work out of the home?
No, right now I am retired.
You're retired. That's good. What have you done in the past as a career?
In the past, I've worked in distribution, in management and distribution. For years, I worked over at Best Products that used to be here in Grand Prairie
yes.
until it left the city.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to other areas in distribution.
In distribution. And that's fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, but now that you're free, you can really have fun at Sunset, can't you?
Yes.
Yes. Well, tell me about your care ministry a little bit.
Our Pastor's Care Ministry is a ministry that is dedicated to taking care of the needs of our pastor and his family, and we try to support him in everything that he does. And we do this by prayer. We do it by ministering to his financial needs or anything that he needs that we can take care of. We're there for him and his family.
Isn't that wonderful? Do you have a committee that you
Yes,
chair?
we have a committee.
And you want to name drop some of the wonderful people that help you on your committee?
Yes, there's Miss Jeanette Gaines. She's our second vice president. Our first vice president, and Sister Marjorie DeRoe is our second vice president. And then we have Miss Anita Turner, Mr. Marvin Duncan, Mr. Leonard Kuntz, Mr. Shannon McAdoo, Miss Carol Hampton, and then we have several other members on the committee, and I don't want to miss anybody, but right now I just can't think of all the names.
Well, what I want to know is how did Tommy Williams fit into your pattern, because she is the one that called me one day and said, Tommy Williams is our very good friend, and she and her husband have been so important to Grand Prairie, Texas. And Tommy, of course, taught in Arlington and has a school named for her there, but she's Grand Prairie at heart because she has a son in the Grand Prairie ISD teaching school, and that family is magnificent. So tell me about your affiliation with
Well,
Tommy.
Miss Williams she's a very good friend of mine. As a matter of fact, she's a mentor to me, and we work together on the Ministers and Deacons Wives Committee.
Oh, how wonderful.
And she is just a joy at Sunset, and wherever she can help, that's where she is. And I called on her to help us with the celebration for Pastor's anniversary.
Now, I knew she'd get on that committee.
Yes.
Yes, that is wonderful. We salute Tommy Williams for all of the things she's done for Grand Prairie, and especially she and her husband have been very important.
Very.
All right, now tell me what you're going to do to really blow it out, and you're going to have a special day?
Oh, yes, we've got, as a matter of fact, we have 3 special days coming up.
All right.
On the second Sunday in September, we will have our pre-anniversary services.
Okay.
And we'll be celebrating all day. In the morning at our 10:15 services, we will have our pastor's father in the ministry is going to be there to bring our message, Reverend Harold T. Branch from Corpus Christi, Texas. Then in the afternoon at the 3:30 hour, we're going to have Reverend Pullum from St. Emmanuel in Denton, Texas.
How wonderful.
And then on September 14th, we're having a banquet over at the Hilton in Arlington. It's going to be a black and white semi-formal affair. And that's going to be at 8 o'clock on Friday evening.
Okay.
And then that Sunday, which is September 16th, will be our finale. And that Sunday, we're going to have at our 10:15 services, Reverend Harry Williams from Corpus Christi, Texas. And then that afternoon at the 3:30 hour, we will have Reverend Delaney from Wichita Falls, Texas. And we're just expecting to have a great time in the Lord.
Well, with his working with the district, you can reach out and find so many of his friends that are very excited about coming and saluting a young man that's given so much, not only to Grand Prairie, but to all of the district in that area. All right, that sounds like you have everything well. And the committee that you have given me, the care ministry, that doesn't cover your committee for the celebration, does it?
No, it doesn't. Because we have an anniversary committee
And that's probably 20 people or more, so I won't
Yes.
ask you to name them, but who are some of your key people that are pulling this together for you?
Miss Tommy Williams,
Yeah.
for one, her husband, T.R. Williams, Andy White, and his.
And Andy is so busy in Weed
Yes,
and
he
Seed.
is. Yes, he is.
Has a wonderful outreach for you. Okay.
And Leo Jones.
Okay.
And those are the key people that are going to be working with the anniversary.
That's wonderful. All right. Do you have any needs now? Is there anything that you want to do other than invite people to it? Or you want them, anything that you need for that celebration?
Yes.
You want to invite the people that were former members or anything? This is your chance to look out into your camera and talk to them.
Yes. We would like to have all previous members to come back and help us celebrate Pastor's anniversary. If you would like to come to the banquet, we have tickets available for a love offering of $35. And we're also putting together a souvenir booklet for our pastor. So if you'd like to take out an ad in the souvenir booklet,
Yes.
you can reach me at 817-468-3851 or 817-312-4532.
And those are ads for, that will be a wonderful historical document.
It will.
Yes.
And we're just looking forward to a great time in celebrating our pastor's tenure with our church because we all love him, and anybody that can stay with a job for 30 years deserve a great celebration.
Well, are you opening the celebration to, say, your neighborhood, the people in the neighborhood, that they want to come and taste the joint and see what's going on? And all?
Yes.
Yes. So
It's open to anyone that would like to come and help us celebrate.
Oh, that is really good. Well, you have a majestic job, and you have a wonderful job as the care ministry chair, and that's great too. So we laud and applaud you as well as Pastor Magruder.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to get back to you now. We have probably 4 or 5 minutes.
All right.
Is there anything you want to talk about that's been the most exciting things that have happened to you since you've been at Sunset?
I look back over the 30 years,
Yes.
and it really doesn't seem like it's been 30 years. It's been a labor of love.
Yeah.
To realize that you have pastored 25 years longer than your father,
Yes.
and 5 years longer than your grandfather,
Yes.
is some kind of accomplishment.
Yes, it is.
Of course, I have to center all of that on the fact that if it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? From a little boy, barefoot boy in D.N. Leather's housing projects of Corpus Christi, Texas,
Yes.
to where God has planted me now, is
There's
an awful long ways.
all the difference in the world, isn't it?
And so had it not been for the Lord, there is no way this would have ever happened. But there are so many joys. Yes, there have been some disappointments, but there are more joys in the 30-year tenure than there have been disappointments. And I guess the most joyous thing that I can hold on to is to see so many children grow up in the church.
Yes.
And to watch them from elementary to junior high to high school, and then graduate, and then go to college, and then still stay in contact with me and remind me how much they love me. You can't beat that.
That is invaluable.
Sunset is my life and my joy, and I thank God for surrounding me with so many people with caring spirits. I have so many gifted people in the church. They just make me look good. Everything they do.
Well, you sort of planned it that way, didn't you? Here you've been teaching them all along just exactly what's right.
And preaching is the most important thing. That's the sin of just about everything is your preaching and your teaching of God's word, and you hope it falls on fertile ground. And as I look at Sunset, it fell on more fertile ground than stony ground. And so the people have grown, and they've grown right along with me. It hadn't been about prestige or money. I took that church March of '77 for $65 a Sunday with a wife and 2 kids, and on a handshake with 2 deacons, Robert Abrams and Eddie Ware, with a promise that as we grow, they would always see that I grow with them.
Yes.
They've kept that promise, and that's where we are today, 30 years later.
And the most exciting thing is that you've gotten to stay there for 30 years.
That's bragging rights.
That is,
how
you
many
really.
preachers do you know are able to stay at
Yes.
one church
Yes,
for 30 years
yes.
and still be happy?
And the people are happy with you.
They're happy. I love them. They love me, and it's demonstrated. It's
Yeah.
evident. You walk into our church, and you know that there's a love relationship between member and pastor, and that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Not too many pastors can say that. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask what you're going to do when you retire, and you're just going to keep on preaching till the Lord calls you
Well,
home, and evidently.
I envision retiring from pastoring, but never retiring from preaching.
From preaching.
And I've asked the Lord to at least give me 10 more years.
Yes.
I'd like to do 40 years.
Wouldn't that be nice?
As pastor of Sunset Baptist Church. And if he grants me that wish, then after that he can just take me on to be with him.
Yes, yes.
But my goal is to be there 40 years.
Yes.
And there's so many biblical significance in 40 years. And so that's our vision. And that's where we are today.
That's where you are today.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to know that if you have real important people that have been through your chairs and through your church and everything, that have really excelled outside of the church, that you have bragging rights to talk about. Do you have any famous people that you consider famous in your right because you saw what they started out barefoot on Manning Road or whatever, and they have made themselves very well?
I will forever be grateful and thankful to the Lord for the Abrams family.
Alrighty.
Robert Abrams and Macy Abrams
Alrighty.
took my family in when they really didn't know us that well, and kept food on our tables and money in our pocket when I know they really didn't have to do that.
Yes.
And then you can go from there to the T.R. Williams family.
Oh, aren't they wonderful?
Who is still there, very supportive.
Yes.
Tommy Bell as well as T.R.
And all of their kids.
And all of their children. I hate to name names because I know I'm going to forget someone, but just at the top of my list are those individuals. Rose and Leonard Kuntz have been marvelous. The Duncan family, Freddie Duncan and his children.
Yes.
The late Edwin Ware. All of these individuals just have meant so much to my life.
Well, don't you think of anyone else, because we're out of time.
We're out of time.
We're out of time.
I was going to go down the church road.
You are making a magnificent try.
Thank you, Miss
you
Jackson.
so very much,
Thank
Pastor
you.
Magruder.
Thank you.
And Miss Rose, you are a darling lady, and God bless both of you all in your sojourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we live and do, and that we document it correctly.